there are 3 altcoins that we have identified on this channel that you should buy with this Bitcoin and crypto dip. Which ones are they? We're going to have that conversation. Is it Caspa? Is it ICP? Speaking of Caspa, we have an update on the KRC token standard when that's going live. Aave is seeing a lot of traction. Could Aave get to $200 before you know it? Could it be the Polygon Matic of 2023 where we saw Polygon go from 40 cents to $1.50 while everything else remained flat? We'll have that conversation. We have some news on Near Protocol. And which sector do investors and VCs believe could push the next mass adoption of cryptocurrency? And within that sector, which of these coins should be on your radar? We'll discuss that and much, much more on today's episode of Sin City Crypto. Let's go.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto. If it's your first time checking us out, we're the entertainment-focused cryptocurrency channel. The old, boring, stale information, repackage that thing up in a fun, sexy way. Bitcoin's is dropping, man. This is the last stop.
The last one, guys.
This is the last pullback.
For the 5th time.
You know what? Like, we making fun of me here, man, but I'm telling you,
It's quite easy.
this is the last.
You make it very easy
pullback.
to make fun of you.
Every time the market makes massive moves, there's generally a little pullback before you shake out the market and then you take off, right?
No way.
You got to refuel the boosters before you set for takeoff.
Wow. Speaking of takeoff, before we take off the show, that was no idea where that was going. We have Ashley joining us in the studio.
I'm here.
Back from her, what was it, 7 weeks you were gone for your birthday?
7 weeks.
Wow. Welcome back and happy birthday.
Thank you.
We got some money for you.
Score.
Not yet, but later. Anyways, we also have Rocco. Rocco, I saw I don't know. I'm not trying to be funny.
Thank you.
I really don't know if
trying-
it's,
No, fine,
I
okay.
swear to God.
What is it? XRP is
They passed a
zero?
law in Italy where parents don't feed their kids meat. It's a fine.
What is it?
Never mind.
Say it again.
That's probably fake. Anyways, I want to have this conversation, right? Dips are meant to be bought. Buy a dip, put it on some bread, and eat it. This case, buy the dip, put it in your wallet, and save it. So, with the markets down, we'll take a look at where the markets are. Bitcoin 56.5, right? You have the biggest losers of the day outside of my co-host. Mantra is down 8%. Ordi down 7%. Aptos down 7%. BitTensor down 6%. IML, everything is down. So, out of all these ones that are down, which ones do we have our eye on? Would you like to go first, Robin, or would you like me to go first?
You go ahead. Man.
Go ahead.
You're-
Okay.
You're on a roll right now.
Mine is strictly driven by the charts. I kept it very simple. I have 3 coins that I want to get exposure to right now. 2 of them, if we don't see the rally that I expect we're going to get, I'm completely fine holding for multiple years. The other one, more of a risk. I would sell it if it goes the opposite way, take a little bit of an L, but that's okay. That's part of the game. So that one is Cosmos. Okay, so very simple. What? What?
Cosmos, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want me to explain to you why?
I'm listening.
So Cosmos on the daily. So I got one indicator on this chart here, and that is the Lux Algo price action concept, okay? And anytime we see these projects get into this discount zone, it's typically a great time to buy. Look at last time Cosmos wicked into this discount zone from the low to the bottom, or from the low to the top, it rallied around 30%.
What chart is this? Is this a
Cosmos.
No, I understand.
The daily.
On what daily?
Daily. Yeah. Daily.
A lot of down to the right.
A lot of down and to the right, like a lot of charts in crypto, right? And so where we are right now, we broke into this area yesterday. We are currently trading within it now at $3.93. If we see another 30% gain to the upside, which I'm not saying we are, but that would put Cosmos at around $5. Now, whether you're putting in a leverage play or whether you're putting in a spot play, whatever you want to do, of course, not financial advice, but this is one that I want to get exposure to make a little money on, okay? If you go down the 4-hour, same thing. Discount zone, right? But except this 4-hour candle is a potential reversal candle if this body starts to shrink a little bit, right? This would be a hammer at the bottom of a downtrend. Very, very bullish reversal pattern, right? Reversal candle. And so,
I genuinely can't disagree with you on this. I know the chart is ugly on so much downward movement, but
I mean, the Cardano chart kind of looks like this too. Yeah.
Cardano chart.
There's a lot of charts that look like this.
Cardano is still up on the year, right? And you look at Cosmos on the year, and it's down, right? On a 1 year chart. A year ago today, it was around $7. Now it's around $3.50.
Cosmos?
Yes. And so you look at, like if you're comparing it to Cardano, it's not. I mean, Cardano's not performing well, but on the 1 year, Cardano is at 25 cents, and now it's at 32 cents. And so that comparison doesn't really hold weight. I think that certain projects have held up pretty well. And so for me, if I'm going into Cosmos, or if I'm going into a play, I mean, I like it, man. I really do, because you got something, if you look at its all time, it's over $30 for quite some time. It wasn't just some flash wick over $30, but most of the bull market last year, all over $20 and briefly over $40. And for the most part, it traded around $30 for most of the bull market. And so could we see another 15 to
It got
20?
to a high of $46.
Yeah. Could we see another bull market where Cosmos is back in the $15 range, maybe 20? Who knows if it gets back to previous all-time highs? I think that there's a good likelihood of it. I think it's a great risk play. Yeah. And on top of that, I mean,
unless you think the chain is dead.
Yeah, no. I don't think and there's still a lot of blockchains that are leveraging
IBC. Well, some of the hottest projects that came out are on Cosmos. You think of Osmosis, you think of Celestia, right? Those are all Cosmos native coins.
And the only like downside, and I know a lot of people talk about it, is that the Cosmos token itself, or the coin, is not used.
Yeah. It's not universally used to secure the network. Correct. You can if you want to, but most of them launch it.
So it's not a utility driven coin.
That might change though. They're making some upgrades to the tokenomics, so that might change.
Yeah.
We don't know what it's going to look like when it's all fully implemented, but now the next two. So you like that one? Sure, you like this one too. The next one here, same thing, right? Keeping it simple, right? KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Look at this. Hedera. On the daily, right? Take a look at the last time. Same thing. Same ID here. Discount zone. Last time we wicked down here. This was back on that Black Monday wick on August 5th. From the low to the high, rallied 30%. But more importantly, it retested this upper bound as support. And from that support, it rallied 19%. And Hedera is currently in this zone right now. And it's been trading there for about a week. About a week, it's been trading underneath around 5.17 cents at 4.8 cents. Now, this is a project that even if I'm wrong and all goes to shit and the markets completely collapse and, oh my God, we're going to zero and so I'm not saying it's going to happen. I would be completely fine moving this over into my long-term portfolio hold. No problem, completely fine. I love what Hedera is doing. I believe in the project. Great fundamentals, just everything we talk about all the time. Same idea, 4.8 cents. And you take a look at their chart, again, same thing, down and to the right. But it wasn't too long ago where Hedera was knocking on the door at 10 cents, right? We had that one massive candle up to 20 cents after that BlackRock tokenization news came out, and then it started to spill off. So Hedera is another one that I'm eyeing to pick up on this dip. And the last one, it's not there yet, but it's close enough for me. And that is Ondo. And that plays into the RWA narrative that I believe is going to be absolutely massive, not just in this bull market, but every bull market moving forward. You're talking about trillions of dollars of liquidity and assets that are ready to be tokenized on chain. And although Ondo is a governance token, it's still a token that people want exposure to. We've seen it with this massive run up going from 20 cents back in February of this year, reaching a local high of $1.50. So buying Ondo at 57.8 cents, where we're literally, how far are we off? We're 3 pennies away, not even 3 pennies, 3/10 of a penny away from being in our premium buy zone, right? The last time this thing wicked down here, again, this was on August 5th, it had a big rally. And so Ondo's another one I'm looking to. This is also another coin where if everything fails, I'll be more than happy to move it over into my long-term hold portfolio. Before you go over yours, out of these 3, which one's your favorite play here?
I'm in between. I like all 3 of the picks. I think they're great. I think the biggest risk play is Cosmos. I just don't know if.
But you think that's also the biggest upside?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest upside as well. Hedera's just strong in the fundamentals, and then Ondo, the real world tokenization narrative, BlackRock.
Mm-hmm.
I think Ondo's I think the one that has the risk reward balance that I would look for out of the 3. I think that there's a lot of uncertainty on the resurgence of Cosmos, and I think that HBAR just it's really strong in the market that it's at now, and I think the fundamentals are good. I very bullish on HBAR in the long term. I just don't know if it's going to have that giant explosive bull market, right? I don't know if you're going to get 10x returns. I could easily see 10x returns from Ondo and Cosmos, but I think Cosmos has a risk of not taking off, and I think that you're just going to get steady, natural, slow growth over Hedera with some slight volatility and upside peaks. And so, yeah, I think they're all good picks. It just kind of depends on hey, what kind of risk do you want to take? What kind of returns are you looking for? And what's your time horizon, I think, is really where it lays out. Or what else is in your portfolio, and what does one of those 3 best fit into as far as what you're looking to fill? So I don't think any of them are bad picks.
And before you move on, so the indicator I got like 2 text messages. The indicator that I have on here is the price action concepts by Lux Algo. If you want to keep things super simple and get a nice broad view of everything on a chart on multiple time frames, I pinned the link in the comment section. You get 20% off for being part of the Sin City crypto community. So Robin, what are your 3?
All right, so
let me guess: ICP, Cardano, and Ethereum.
If I have to pick 3, here's the thing. If I would have picked 3 a couple weeks ago, it would have been different than the 3 now. I think that, you are seeing.
Based off sentiment or prices?
Both.
Okay.
Both. And positioning on market cap. And so I know that we have avid communities here that turn up, and if we don't mention their coin or their project, they flip the hell out. Be like, you pick anything other than Casper and ICP. We love Casper and ICP, but if we don't pick you in this exact scenario, calm the hell down. Okay, so so for one, I will have to go with ICP on this.
Okay.
And you know what? I think that the direction of the chain, the growth of the community, and kind of just the buzz overall. Now, you look at this all-time chart here, and obviously it had a mismatch on the market maker when it came out, right? And we know it was part of the Alameda research release, so take that for what you want. But for something that's in the, and then if you look at the 1 year, you can see that, it has had very strong performance on the 1 year. So up 2x, over 2x on the 1 year. And we saw a lot of interest in this just a few short months ago, or 4 months ago, no, 6 months ago. 6 months ago, we saw really strong interest in ICP. So we know that people are ready to get behind ICP. The market is ready the market has identified this as one of its favorite plays. And for that reason, I think that it could easily get back to $20 where it was just 6 months ago. And so when the bull market kind of kicks back off, or when Bitcoin gets to the next leg of its price movement, I think that ICP moves in tandem with Bitcoin's price discovery, right? When Bitcoin gets to 80,000, I think that ICP is gonna be at $15, $16, $17, $18 pretty quickly. It was just there not long ago. It's not like this is a pipe dream. No, and so there's that. You know what I really like and I know I touched on it yesterday, is way down here is really strong hidden gem.
Gala,
No,
Akash. I
Akash.
love Akash.
Akash, almost outside the top 100. You have a consolidation or removal of competition, right? So you had Fetch AI, Ocean Protocol, Singularity Net, three of the biggest names in AI for crypto. All of those consolidated under one brand, right? And so now there's less competition. So if you're looking to diversify in an AI play, you got the super intelligence, what's it called again?
Artificial super
Sorry, I
intelligence
missed artificial.
alliance.
So you got that one, and that's a top project. You know, how much is that going to move realistically? And I wouldn't be surprised. Look no further than Nvidia. I'm pretty sure people are like, well, it's already a massive company, and it's already ran up to here. And if you would have got Nvidia in the last 12 months, obviously you're doing pretty damn good. So I don't think there's anything wrong with ASI, but Akash I think is probably number 2 on my list. And being as far down on the market cap list, it's not even $1 billion. It's $500 million. And so we know how much money is flowing into AI. I wouldn't be surprised.
You know what, Robin? Rocco, do not pull up my laptop. It's top secret. For the Almanac, I did an entire grading and ranking. And I'll just give you a little teaser. Akash ranks pretty high in that ranking for all metrics. So I endorse this pick.
There's that, and then there's one that's going to surprise you. I'm pretty sure you would not expect me to
Polygon?
No. And so outside the top
Popcat.
Outside the top 100.
Don't tell me Kadena, I swear to God.
Far down this list. Down here, number
XRP.
134, I have Compound.
I disagree with you here.
Why in the world would I say Compound's a good play? Well, we know that sectors like the rally with that. You know what? You see AI becomes a narrative. All the AI tokens start to rally. Who is one of the strongest performers in the last week? In the last 7 days, who has rose from the ashes, who's garnered all kinds of attention, not just by mainstream media, not by crypto, but by former president Trump and his DeFi platform, which is using Aave. Aave's had an absolute growth. If you want exposure to decentralized finance, especially through Ethereum, and you're looking at Aave, why the hell wouldn't you look at Compound?
I take my stance back. I agree.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm not going to have exposure to both. My exposure is in Aave.
But if you wanted more upside play, this thing is, it's at $40. It was at $400, a solid 10x. And it, at one point it was at $800. And so, it's
20x?
It's 20x from its peak.
Do you think it gets
and then if you look, circulating supply, it only has 10 million coin. And so market cap $300 million, a third of $1 billion. And so if this thing starts getting some traction, if all of a sudden you start hearing, hey, you know what, Trump, his DeFi platform, they're using Aave, let's just say BlackRock, Wells Fargo, if someone wants to play around in DeFi, are they going to use Aave, or are they going to say, hey, you know what, let's try something a little different? And so I think that Compound is going to get a lot of mainstream headlines this coming bull market. And I think that with each partnership that they make, or each time that a large company or a big name says, hey, we're going to be leveraging Compound, I think it's going to be the next leg up on its resurgence. And I think that, could we see another $200 Compound? Absolutely. I think that's almost like penciled in. And then I think will it get to $400? That I would hope so. I mean, I don't know. I think you need to for it to get to 400, you need Ethereum to straight rally, do its thing, and you need DeFi interest back in the space. But I think a lot of upside there.
I like that. I asked the chat, what are your 3 top buys right now? And saw Bitcoin, Aave. Jimmy, I like Aave as well. Chingon said Bitcoin, ETH, ICP. And so, you got to decide which ones am I willing if the market goes against what I believe it is, because no one knows what the market's going to do, right? It's going to go up. We're going to see a massive rally. We're going to see a massive downside, and then the Fed's. Who knows? You gotta put yourself in the situation like, hey, which am I comfortable putting money in and leaving it there in case the market goes off, and understand your risk profile. I think another one that fits into the DeFi narrative is MakerDAO. It's just the price is $1,600. But it's got less than 1 million coins in circulation. And so MakerDAO is another big DeFi play. It is still, the all-time high we got was like $5,500. And so, but then again, you get retail coming in here, like they're like $1,600 for one coin. They don't understand the value and looking at market cap versus the price of a single coin. And so that's just another one to keep your eye on. Before we move forward, I do want to give a big special thank you to today's channel sponsor. Today's show is brought to you by Legacy Academy. Ashley just downloaded their app, and she's been playing around with it. She is very happy, and you would be too if you downloaded the app. It allows you to earn LGCT tokens that are not worth anything yet, but the token is going live in the very near future. And we'll kind of leave it at that. And if you do have their app and you've used it, do us a favor. Leave them a review on the App Store. It's available on Google and Apple. The link to their Telegram is in the description of this video for you to stay up to date on everything Legacy Network. Now, with that being said, Donald Trump is in New York. It's like, this brings up crypto all the time. Did you see this?
No, I haven't.
No.
I saw him getting attacked by a mosquito and freaking out. Did you see that?
I did not see that.
He was doing a interview.
Doing a dance?
He was doing an interview and a mosquito was there. And he's like, the next thing you know, he like went hog wild. He's like, I hate mosquitoes. Just like,
Bill Gates, he released all the mosquitoes. All right, so this is Trump in New York City. This was earlier today, and this is what he had to say.
This onslaught at lower prices, I'm pledging today that in my second term, we will eliminate a minimum of 10 old regulations for every one new regulation. We'll be able to do that quite easily, actually. And instead of attacking industries of the future, we will embrace them, including making America the world capital for crypto and Bitcoin.
No claps, but look at the backdrop. The Economic Club of New York.
I think there was like 4 people clapping.
Oh, you got the Economic Club of New York, right? So doubt there's a lot of degens there, but anyways. That was it. Rob, as we get closer to the election here in the U.S., and let's just say the numbers start to favor Trump more and people start to believe, oh, you know what? He is going to win. He's going to be good for crypto. You think that could be a catalyst for a big move to the upside?
I think at this moment it's kind of priced in. What I think is
You think it's priced in?
I think his crypto stance is priced in. But I'll say this, what's not priced in is it being a question at a debate. So we are 5 days away from the next debate. And if that becomes a talking point between the two candidates.
Do you really think ABC is going to ask him about Bitcoin? I don't think so, man. I really don't.
I would, if I had to bet, I would bet against it. I think it's less likely. But I do think that as the debates, as you know, this is supposed to be one of a couple debates. I think they were originally scheduled for 3, but I don't know.
She backed out of one of them. She backed out of the Fox one.
So I don't know if they'll get to 3, but I do estimate that they'll have this debate and then one other. And if it's not in this one, you're going to find that the moderators are going to try to find a question that is going to be something the other channels haven't asked, right? You're going to want something a little new, someone's position, someone's thought, because at the end of the day, they're trying to drive ratings, right? And they're trying to get headlines. They're trying to get the candidates to say something off the cuff that's like, what? And so at the end of the day, think about it. ABC's trying to draw ratings. And so we know that like NBC knows that if they get a big name on an interview, the CNBC, almost always in Squawk Box, CNBC, they get someone in the chair in finance. They love asking them a question about Bitcoin. Yeah. Why? because they know it's going to get cut out and replayed and posted on Twitter, and it drives ratings. That's why they do it. And so for me, I think that, hey, if you go down the same road, you keep asking all the same questions that everyone else is asking, is that beneficial for the ratings and the views? I mean, is playing it safe, and I think that's what these channels have been doing. But I think that there's more and more chance that they're asking. Honestly, I would not be surprised, man. I really would not. I'd say the percentage chance of it now, I think, is around 30%, and I think that it'll be even higher if they don't ask it this one on the second one, because they're gonna want to find some new talking points that hasn't been discussed yet.
Rocco, where do you stand on this? Do you think they'll ask some crypto question?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I don't think
Wow,
so.
we agree.
Yeah, I agree with you. You see?
Can we get a round of applause?
Of course, to myself.
It's so funny because the last debate, you were so like, you're like,
Yeah, I thought they were going to.
you literally said,
I said 50-50.
No, you came out. You put a Twitter poll up and said, "Will crypto be asked in the first 60 seconds or something like that, or the first 4 minutes of the
Probably
debate?" And I was like, "Bro, they're not even going to ask the question." You're like, "What?" And then I'm like, "No, they're like."
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was ready with a
all-knowing
Bitcoin
Robin.
wallet.
My apologies.
I'm just saying.
all hail the Almighty.
It's funny
Almighty
how
Robin.
you went from certainty to the point to where you're like, at what point in this debate are they going to ask the question? To now you're like, they're not going to even ask it. Now.
Calm
So,
down, 90K.
Just
Calm
saying
down.
that, like, hey, you flip flop more than sea bass out of water, man. I'm just,
Really? Okay.
And also,
Let's call it
flip-flop
90K. 90K.
when I'm okay. So being wrong is flip flopping. I guess you'll be the biggest flip flopper
you
this
just
month.
have
then.
dramatic swings.
Anyways,
You just have dramatic.
speaking
swings.
of 90K.
Hold steady, man. And you know what? And I have actually flipped my stance this time, but slightly more into the.
But you're not
I
a flip
think-
flopper. You're just a regular.
No,
You're a
You
prophet.
flip flop. I'm like the boat. I just kind of like go
Oh.
to the ocean.
Yeah,
hit
then
the
eventually you
tide.
get capsized and flip over, and they have to rescue you via helipad. 90K is probably not going to come for Bitcoin in September, but at some point, I do believe our man Jimmy is going to get to 90,000 gifted memberships. 20 gifted memberships. So Jimmy, we used to call him the sugar daddy of our channel. Jimmy, we love you. Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate you. I want to show this. Lot of activity on Aave as two whales just bought $2.2 million 30 minutes ago. Rob mentioned this yesterday with the Trump family DeFi project, I think it's World Liberty Finance or something. They're working with Aave. Their Go stable coin is gaining traction. It is the sexy DeFi play, I believe, in the entire market. It's got great tokenomics. It's got great everything, right? It's pretty high ranked on my ranking board for the top 100. And it's in a sector that hasn't really moved yet, but we all know DeFi will move, right? DeFi will always have a place in cryptocurrency, and why not have some exposure to the top DeFi play on the top chain, which is Ethereum, $130 Aave. I picked some up at sub 120. I know Jimmy's got a lot of Aave, and I'm sure some of you, if you have Aave, put a one in the chat. I'm curious to see how many people in this chat right now have exposure to Aave. But it's such a good project. This thing went from, I think, 50 cents to $600 the last cycle. It was crazy. I remember seeing it on Coinbase. I was like, what the hell is it? What the hell is this Aave? And then bam, this thing just shot up. I'm not saying we're going to see a similar move from Aave, but I do think as far as dominance, it's going to continue to grow. And I'm a big believer in Aave, and excited. And they just backed their stablecoin with the BlackRock Treasury Fund as well. So that's exciting. Some other altcoin news. Update from Casplex, the team that is doing the Caspa KRC token standard. This month is what they said. Well, what are they referring to? Doesn't specifically say KRC, but let's just go ahead and assume it's pretty safe that, hey, this month we're going to get the KRC 20 token standard. Robin, what do you expect when this thing goes live? Now, I want to bring to your attention Cardano 2021 September. Smart contracts came. That was a top. Cardano bled off from $3, and then we went into a bear market. Do you see something similar here with Caspa? Or do you think because the timing is different in the market cycle, it could potentially push Caspa up past new all-time highs.
Well,
You know, people are eager to launch stuff on this chain, right?
no, I agree. And you do got to be careful, man. You know what? I would say this. I would keep an eye on how hard it runs right before it goes live. And so it's this month. So let's say it's supposed to go live on the 22nd. If we're 2 weeks from now and Caspa's run from, what's it, like 15 cents right
14
now?
cents.
14. If it goes to like 23 cents and it's about 2 or 3 days out from,
Yeah, 15 cents.
yeah, if it gets up, say it moves up to 22 cents in the next 2 weeks, right on the anticipation, at that point I'm not buying.
That's fair.
Now, if we get Casplex and the KRC 20s are coming out and the price is still around 15 cents and that narrative is about to go live, I'm buying. I just think that you're going to probably get at most a 50% run up. I mean, 50% will put it at 22 cents. I think that's the high side. So if I see it run up 40 or 50% prior, at that point, I think you kind of missed that pump, right?
So should people buy now?
I mean, I think Caspa's a good play right now. You know, it was at 20 cents just a couple months ago, right? Not even. Or was it like 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago?
Let me take a look here.
And so that's where I'm at.
July 31st.
About 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And so I just look at it this way. I'm like, you know what? Very, very short window, or in a very recent memory, it was at 20 cents. It's currently at 14. If you tie in some bullish narratives, and you know what happens a lot of time, that you get something, a bullish catalyst like Casplex, KRC20, and then you couple that with, say, perhaps a new exchange listing or some other bullish catalyst, we could see Caspa back up to 22 cents, 24 cents. That wouldn't surprise me. But if you get that run up and then you're anticipating it to go another, say, 50% on top of that, I think that's a reach. And at this stage in the market, we're not seeing anything run that crazy yet when Bitcoin is consolidated. Now, if Bitcoin was moving, if in 2 weeks Bitcoin's over at 80,000, then you know that narrative's a little different. So.
Ashley, I heard rumors that you hold Caspa. Is that true?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Is that the only crypto you hold?
No, I hold them all.
That's not possible.
I do, though.
You got gifted Caspa, okay? So
who cares? She got Caspa. She got Caspa in her portfolio. I think you said you had some Bitcoin too, right?
All of it.
Okay. You have all the Bitcoins?
All of the Bitcoins.
All the Bitcoins.
Every single one of the Bitcoins.
I'm going to be on the debate stage. I'm going to have.
I just have some weird feeling that you're going to have this crazy crypto portfolio, but it's going to be all gifted cryptos.
What does that mean? Are you insinuating that she does not buy her own crypto? We'll have this conversation.
That's not nice. I buy my own things.
Ashley, I got your back. Don't worry.
Thank you.
All right. Also, if you are new here, we'd love to give you a shout out. We got some new faces via Jimmy's gifted memberships. Also, some
the people lurking.
Yeah, the lurkers. But we're gonna give you a shout out anyways. We got Fudd, Get About It, Always Here, Mops, Rusty Chucky, Morel Crawford, Mr. Marble, Alex, Jimmy Mac, Jam, Sebastian. We got Patrick, Dusty Hunt. I know you've been here before, Dusty, but
Dusty
some
what?
love anyways.
Dusty what?
Hunt.
Oh, sorry.
And then you got Samoth, Frank G, T.Y. Fox, Brett G, Crypto O,
Barbara,
Sammy, Crypto Redneck, Go Ducks Go, Ernest Lee, and
Ernest.
Yeah.
Ernest, what's up, man?
And then you got Soundboy, Nicholas G, as well, to all of you. Hola! Welcome. Sin City Crypto. Also, DE Crypto. What's up?
What's up, Dusty? Dusty Hunt. Anyways, we talk about DeFi. Well, Robin, there's a few people who believe that DeFi will not thrive on Ethereum this cycle. It'll thrive on the #1 cryptocurrency in the world. That is Bitcoin. So this headline article here, Bitcoin DeFi TVL will top Ethereum's within 2 years, says a core DAO contributor going by the name of Brendan Sado. Said it's a no-brainer. A couple of things here from the Cointelegraph article. Brandon Sado, an initial contributor at Bitcoin sidechain Core DAO, told Telegram that at Korea Blockchain Week that the $1 trillion in capital currently held in the Bitcoin ecosystem will gradually begin its way on chain, eventually flipping that of Ethereum. He said, quote, if you look at Bitcoin, there's over $1 trillion sitting there. You could feasibly see a lot of that capital coming on chain, especially with the solutions like trustless bridges and rollups that are coming out. Assuming that Bitcoin will continue to increase in value and attract further sums of institutional capital, Sato said it wouldn't be too hard to imagine that a lot of this would end up being put to use in Bitcoin sidechains and other Bitcoin-based DeFi applications. Do you agree with this? And if you do, how do you get exposure to this sector? Is it just Bitcoin, or should you look Stacks?
You know,
ICP?
I would be a little bit more
near protocol.
I was gonna say I'd be more on the latter, right? I think Stacks is a great play.
But before you get there, do you agree with this though? Do you agree that Bitcoin DeFi TVL could flip that of Ethereum?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
If you
were
were
not
lean...
surprised, it would not surprise. Here's the thing: I know what ETH is king, and so right now I wouldn't marry any Bitcoin DeFi protocol until it starts to catch steam, right? Until you start getting movement, until the market starts to say, "Hey, there's a demand for Bitcoin DeFi." If that pops up, then at that point, okay, is this a narrative that's going to keep growing? Is this an ecosystem that can 2, 3, 4, 5x bring in a bunch of money? Are people interested in actually using it? That I don't know, man. But I would wait for it to kind of kick off. I don't need to be so early, and because at the end of the day, we can speculate on everything. We can be like, hey, you know what? Mortgages are going to be on blockchain, and we're also going to have firefighters' pensions are all going to be on this blockchain. Like, we can speculate all day. And then just be like, oh, if this happens, then I'm going to be rich, right? And if you just keep following all of those narratives, you're going to end up swinging and missing on majority of them, realistically. Now, what I like to do is I like to say, hey, you know what? There's a lot of potential in Web3 and gaming. There's a lot of potential in AI. There's a lot of potential in DeFi for Bitcoin. I think there's a lot of potential in whatever vertical you're interested in. And so for me, I wait for it to kind of start to rally, and then I get exposure, right? And do I miss some of the gains? Yes. But I think that's more of a surefire way to get guaranteed returns. You get early in on a theme instead of blindly saying, one day we'll all wear headsets and the metaverse will be here, so I'm taking all of my retirement and betting it all on this metaverse thing. If you're right, cool, you'll nail it. But what happens if the metaverse doesn't play out? What happens if Bitcoin never develops on Ethereum? And so for me, I always just kind of like wait it out a little bit, man. Just wait it out a little bit, wait to see. But it makes for an intriguing conversation because, you know, this is where the money's at. And the one contrast here is that the Bitcoin community likes to buy and hodl Bitcoin, not do anything with it, and just be, you know how Bitcoin are.
But doesn't mean that new people can't get on board.
But here's an example, right? Bitcoin community is all like, you know what we need? We need a fast way to spend money, Lightning Network. I need to buy coffee with Bitcoin. And then what happens? They build it, nobody uses it. Because why? Because at their heart, they're like, I just want to buy and hold this thing. They're like a bunch of trolls with the ring. And in the Lord of the Rings movie, like they have it and they just like, it's precious and they don't want to let it go. And so even though they know that there can be a lot more expansion in Bitcoin, they're hesitant to do so for that exact reason. And so I don't know, man. I just very hesitant for Bitcoin to ever do anything different. Put it that way.
You know,
the NFT thing got a little buzz, but
Ordinals, runes, I think those have a future. Here's the thing for me is I would be wary of bridges, right? Bridge wrapped Bitcoin, wrapped asset with as a centralized player. I would be more keen in looking at ICP, Near Protocol, and Stacks. Projects that directly settle and interact with the layer one, not some centralized bridge or even if it's a trustless bridge. There's too many pain points. You go with something like ICP, they got their chain key technology, right? Everything is done natively on the Bitcoin layer one, not some other thing they built to the side. Same thing with Near Protocol with chain abstraction. Same thing with Stacks, after their Nakamoto upgrade goes live, their SBTC. These are all Bitcoin native assets that you can control and use via your Near account, your ICP account, or your Stacks account. Those are the ones that I'd be intrigued with. But you take a look at why would anyone decide to choose Bitcoin? One, longevity, right? And trust and security, decentralization and liquidity. $1 trillion in liquidity is sitting there. Now, I do side with Robin is the people that are sitting on Bitcoin, they're not all of a sudden want to be like, okay, yeah, I want to go spend money on this. No, they've seen what's happened. A lot of these people have been around for a long time. They've seen their friends, their family, people around them to try to earn yield on Bitcoin or lend it out and do this and that, and it's on a bridge and gets hacked or they lose it, the company goes down. So people are wary.
What do you consider DeFi's biggest sector? It's swapping, right?
Lending and borrowing.
But I think it's swapping.
What do you mean?
Ethereum's DeFi, its strongest play is Uniswap, right?
You mean decentralized trading?
Yes. And so that's why I ask you, do you think it's borrowing? Because for me, when I think of DeFi, I think of Ethereum and Solana, and DeFi for me is, hey, let me swap my native asset for other compatible assets all on chain. You know what? Let me go get some NFTs.
So
let me go.
Let's take your thought for a second.
And where I was getting at is just to finish my point is that nobody's going to trade their Bitcoin for anything else.
Okay, fair. So let's stick with that point. No one wants to part with their Bitcoin. So how can they leverage that Bitcoin? What does Michael Saylor do in the world of traditional finance?
Yeah, I think lending is going to be if DeFi grows, so then you ask yourself this: what's the market for borrowing on Bitcoin compared to the market of DeFi on Ethereum when you take into account all of the other verticals of DeFi, right? When you say, hey, DeFi also incorporates NFTs. It also incorporates, the tokenization of real-world assets. It also incorporates swapping. It also, when you take all of those baskets and you put it together, it's going to be bigger than Bitcoin lending. Because I just think a lot of people are scared to move their Bitcoin off their hardware wallet.
So it seems like you've talked yourself into leaning one direction. Your answer is no, it will not.
No, but at the same time, just a caveat, I can never dismiss Bitcoin because, will the Lightning Network ever be this giant payment channel that everyone uses? I would lean no, but it wouldn't surprise me if it ends up being a go-to means of payments for people with financial needs. And it wouldn't surprise me if DeFi ends up being a go-to lending protocol for people that want to, take out loans. Do I think it's going to happen? I side with no more than yes.
Okay. I'm going to share some Near Protocol news. Near shares they're sharing their Q3 roadmap update. We know Nightshade 2.0 went live, which takes sharding to the next level. So a couple things here. Optimization of state witness size. In its current implementation, state witness size could be quite large. Optimization will reduce the likelihood of a chunk hitting the size limit, therefore improving throughput, reducing costs for storage operations, resharding, and node synchronization. So pretty much just bettering their Nightshade 2.0 that they just rolled out. And so Near Protocol continues to make headway. And then we have this article from A&B Crypto, Near's road to recovery. Traders bet on rise to $5.20 and beyond, highlighting this symmetrical triangle we got going on here. And let me pull up a Near Protocol chart here real quick. But Robin, while I pull up this chart, any thoughts on Near Protocol? Maybe short term, long term. Is this a good place to buy? You're looking at Near Protocol at $3.80 on the daily. Lower lows, lower high. Although we put in a higher low, which is good. But we do need to take out this high of around $5 for this trend to reverse because we've been in a downtrend since essentially May. As you can see here, lower lows and lower highs. Again, what am I talking about with the higher low is right here. Right here, right? This was our last low. This was where we had, this was back on August 6th. And the low we just put in, if it holds, which around $3.70, and then we just need to take out this high. We need to take out this $5, call it $5 even high, and then we could see a potential reversal in trend. But near protocol, $3.79. Everything they're doing with Nightshade, the sharding, chain abstraction, AI. There's a lot going on for near protocol. What's your
Yeah, I'm on board with near protocol as far as a portfolio. I think that it's diverse enough to say, hey, you know what? I like it for its AI, but at the same time, I mean, it has so much more going for it. So it's almost like a diversified play all in one. And the same could be said with like ICP, which is a very diverse roadmap or use case.
So saying you're able to hit multiple verticals with one coin.
Yeah. And so it's why I don't know. I just like near. I don't have
near.
much more to expand. I think that its price right now is on discount. And
Well, here's the way you got to look at it too, right? Is you take a look at something like ICP or something like Near Protocol, right? They have so many verticals, whether it's decentralized physical infrastructure, whether it's AI, whether it's Bitcoin adoption, they have all of that. And so when you invest in a coin like Near or ICP or Hedera or really anyone that's got multiple verticals, if one of those three takes off, you're going to make money. You would probably make money regardless if you're buying at these dips and not buying the tops and selling on the bottom, right? And so it just gives you you cast a wider net to be able to, if one of those verticals hits, if we all think AI is going to be the biggest play in 2025, but it happens to be infrastructure, well, guess what? Near, ICP, Hedera, they all fit in that category. They also fit in the AI category. So if it's AI, they'll make money there too. If it's DeFi, they can make money there too. If it's connecting to Bitcoin, they can make money there too. So you have multiple verticals where you can make money on, and Near fits into that category, which is one of the reasons I'm very bullish on Near. Speaking of decentralized physical infrastructure network, from Cointelegraph, DePIN to be crypto's next big use case, according to MV Global. DePIN will be Web3's next big use case with potential to onboard a significant number of new users to the crypto space. According to MV Global, the ecosystem currently comprises upwards of 1,000 projects representing $50 billion in aggregate market capitalization. These are some of the projects, and I will just go to CoinMarketCap here, but you have projects such as Filecoin, such as Render, BitTensor, Arweave, Helium, MultiverseX, Akash. You have some of the lower ones, AIO's network. Haven't heard of that. IOTA did pretty well last cycle. Will this thing come back? IOTEX. I remember I had a lot of IOTEX last cycle. Sold it for a good chunk of money. Golem, Sia Coin. So there's a bunch here in the DePIN play. Is there one that really stands out to you here on this list of decentralized physical infrastructure networks? I would also throw ICP in there as well, which is not on this list.
You know what? I haven't given it much thought. I'll be honest with you.
I like Arweave and Render.
I just haven't looked at this sector. I honestly don't have any exposure. And
you know what, Robin? If you buy the almanac, you will get exposure to the sector. The whole write-up on the whole sector.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, it just hasn't. I won't go into a sector or projects until I have done the research and understand who is the players here, who's standing out. And so for me, I haven't gone down that rabbit hole of research for this. And I don't know, maybe I'm missing out on this sector. I'm not sure, but I can't point out any that I like just because I haven't even really done the research in this area yet. And I know I've seen the headline narratives. I know who the big players are, but I'm just not sure who really stands out, who's primed to take the front running position here, and who has the most likelihood of popping off. I couldn't tell you, man.
You know, BitTensor is an interesting play, but you know, with their whole with their subnets going down, that was not a good look. But the idea of what BitTensor is doing, allowing AI and machine learning to learn from each other, and you know, however good your research or the information you provide to the network of subnets is, you get paid more in their token. That's interesting. I love Render. Render, I picked some up. I talked about this on the show earlier this week. And you talk about the project with probably the best tokenomics in the entire space is Arweave. You have Arweave that has DPIN in its side, and it's also got AI on its side with the AO supercomputer that leverages Arweave's native token for security and gas. So there's so many sectors that you can look down the list and be like, damn, Helium at $8. I think this thing's coming back. Over 1 million hotspots globally. And that number is growing. Helium, $8. What did Helium get up to this past cycle? Now remember, past cycle it was on, I believe it was on Ethereum. It migrated to Solana, got up to $50. How high can it go? We know when the market started going down, Helium token crashed. People weren't making as much money as they were by taking their routers online and creating these hotspots. So people just shut them off. Like, it's not worth it. This price starts going up. You can see like a snowball effect of more people plugging in, more people saying, you know what, it's worth it. Let me do it. Kind of like with, the Bitcoin difficulty, how it adjusts. If it's easier to mine Bitcoin, then you're going to plug in versus it's harder, you're going to plug out. And so these are all, in my opinion, solid plays. Multiverse X, I'm not sure this is a DPIN play, but it's listed on here. But you go down the list, Golem's a decent one as well. Flux is a great one, 194 million in market cap, almost outside the top 200. You have stuff like Hive Mapper, where it allows you to go around kind of like Google Maps and get paid to do it, right? You take pictures and whatever. And so there's a bunch of plays here in the DPIN sector that, we believe DPIN is going to be big. And according to this article, the next big use case for crypto, talk about stable coins. I would argue that's part of infrastructure, right? You can throw stable coins in infrastructure. You don't think stable coins are infrastructure?
I think stable coins are its own sector. I think
I agree,
stable coins
but
are a means of liquidity.
But I believe
exchanges.
But I believe it's part of the infrastructure of crypto as a whole. Now, obviously,
it is. I don't know. I wouldn't put it in deep.
Well, here's the thing: you're not going to make money by putting money.
No, I know that.
But yeah, that's just a sector to kind of keep your eye on. And then just one more final thing here for you guys. Ripple and SEC agree to postpone their $125 million fine, suggesting that the SEC might be appealing the ruling. Does this make you feel any different about XRP, Robin?
No, we know the appeal is coming. It's almost like standard practice, so not anything to get spooked about. And it's an uphill battle. In an appeal, you got to say that, hey, the rules themselves weren't fair. They didn't play by the rules, and the court case needs to be voided because of information that was brought up illegally or something that got purposely, held out or removed, and so that way it wouldn't affect the case. Is there a chance for an appeal and a win by the SEC? Of course there is. But it's an uphill battle.
So you're saying
a
there's
smaller
a chance?
And there's always a chance. But if the court case also took a long time. So I think if there was information,
4 damn years,
if there was information that would have been detrimental to the court case in either direction, I think it would have been brought up, right? If it would have been a quick court case, they went to court, it was like 12 months or something, then they'd be like, hey, you know what? They kind of rushed this process. They left out this piece of evidence. This would have been extremely, damning for one side. But it was 4 years, man. I feel like there was plenty of time for both sides to bring up any evidence. And unless there was some kind of corruption or some kind of bribery or backdoor deals or, which wouldn't surprise me in a court case, especially, held in a U.S. court by a branch of the U.S. So, I mean, yeah, I think an appeal is very, very unlikely, but it's always a possibility.
We have our video coming out in about 1 hour. This is a very important video. It talks about the retirement scenario that a lot of people, not just in America, but globally are facing. And with at least here in the U.S., the country going deeper into debt, we can assume taxes will be higher when we all retire. So In the video, I talk about where we are with retirement, how much money people need, where's the trend going, and how to make sure that when you make all this money in crypto, you keep more of it in your pocket and give less of it to the government. So do us a favor, watch that video, and when you watch it, put a 1 in the comments section, and then tomorrow, maybe do a little something special for people there. So it'll be pretty fun. That'll do it for the show today. Anything else, people?
No.
Ashley, Rocco?
Nothing.
No? Good. All right. Rocco?
Too fast.
Thank you so much all for tuning in. It was a pleasure to have you join with us. We'll see you all tomorrow. We love you guys. Until then, peace.
Sin City, crypto. Everybody know we here for entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy a dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell sinners. Tune in for the latest new flavors. They gonna teach us mean coins. They polarizing like barbecue chicken pizzas. I laugh with a major grin. Laggers, we trade them in. Baddies, they came to sin. And sinners gon' play to win. Screaming, hola, till my bags are flowing over. Hold ya to the moon and to the solar. Won't I? Don't be letting FOMO control ya. It's over when the finger tornado close ya.